Sports Talk. I'm Frank Noppenberger, the Supervisor of Athletics for the East Brunswick School District and your host for today's program. Today is a very special program because we have Heather O'Reilly, who may be the most outstanding female soccer player in America. Heather, welcome.
Thanks, Frank. Good to be here.
Well, Heather, we want the audience out there, some of them have been reading about you and some of them know of your accomplishments, but I want them to know a little bit about you. So we're going to do a little copying from the Yes Network. I'm going to ask you a question. For instance, your favorite subject in school and why?
Well, my favorite subject is actually the major that I'm currently majoring in, which is education. I hope to be a teacher when I get older. My mother was a teacher. It's kind of in the family, and I've always enjoyed working with kids. So I hope to teach and probably be involved in soccer coaching for many years.
Oh, that's great stuff. I have watched you over the years. I've seen you work with kids. You have a great rapport. You've got that something about you, that charisma, and the kids just love being around you. That's good. What subject area? Phys ed?
Maybe phys ed, but more towards English and social studies.
Well, I know you're a great English student. Very good, good.
Thanks.
Beyond soccer, if there is such a thing, what kind of interests, or are you involved in hobbies, or?
Yeah, I think that I still enjoy playing basketball with my friends. We get out there and play a lot. I played basketball here at East Brunswick High School as well for 3 years under Mr. Carney. And right now I'm just concentrating on being a regular college student, which involves, you know, tons of things, listening to music, going to see movies, hanging out with my friends.
So it doesn't have you 24 hours a day, soccer?
No, I think that one of the most important things of being a high-level athlete is having a balance in your life. And that's what I've focused on having over the years, and I think it's, you know, helped me on the way and directed me towards success.
I just got to ask you this about basketball, and if this goes back to your school, they allow you to play pickup basketball?
Yeah, we played a couple times during the season, but we didn't let the coaches know that. Yeah, we could probably get in big trouble.
Right.
But now that the off season is going on, Anson Dorn's my head coach at University of North Carolina. He really wants us to go out there and play. He thinks it's a great cross trainer. He thinks it's good for us to get away from soccer for a while, and we're all really competitive. So it's not like it's just a day in the park playing basketball with the girls. I mean, we go after it. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've all played basketball in high school, and we're all really athletic and really quick, but sometimes the basketball aspect of it, you know, shooting, sometimes there's a couple air balls and banks.
Not your air balls.
No, no way. But a lot of us can say that we're a lot better at defense than we are at offense. That's what I prided myself in high school.
Good. Well, that's good stuff. I like that. How about like a musical group? Do you have a favorite?
I think that I like a lot of more mellow stuff than some kids my age like today. I like Counting Crows and Dave Matthews Band. And
oh, they're real mellow to me. Counting Crows, that's one of my favorite. Oh boy.
It is. It is. I'm just trying to say I'm not into the hip hop and rap scene as much as some other groups.
Well, they want to know about you. How about your favorite food?
Favorite food. I think that. The food that I eat the most has to be cereal. I think I eat cereal probably about twice a day, every day. My mom hates it because she thinks that she's stocked up the house with having like 3 boxes of cereal, and then she's going out to the supermarket after just a couple of days. So that's my favorite snack food, and when I go out to restaurants, I always like to order chicken parmesan. That's always
that's a good one. I like that.
That's my classic dish.
How's the pizza down in North Carolina?
The pizza?
Yeah.
It's nothing comparable to New York pizza.
Yeah, that's what they always say. That's good.
There's actually a pizza place down the street from me that's called I Love New York Pizza, so that's where I find myself a lot.
All right. One more question before we get to about Heather. It's interesting. You're down there, and in Tobacco Road, right up the street, is Danny Miller and Duke, and as you know, they made it to the Final Four this year. What's that like? And you ever run into him? Does he come to your games? Do you go to his games?
Yeah, I think during the soccer season, it's really hard to get to see each other as much as we would like. You know, a lot of times his away games coordinate with my home games, so it's tough to watch each other. But we did see, I think, we each went to 2 games of each other's during the season. I got to see his parents, and I watched him in the semifinal game of the Final Four, so I was really happy for him. He deserved to get that far, and his team was really great this year.
Yeah, they were. That's neat stuff, too. East Brunswick people down there. Tell the audience, Heather, I'm pretty sure I know, about North Carolina, their history of girls soccer, and then how they did this year in the NC2As.
UNC has always been a big powerhouse for women's soccer. That's one of the reasons I've gone there, and one of the reasons behind the tradition and the dynasty is our coach, Anson Dorrance, who has been there all the way since the beginning. I think UNC has won 17 out of 23 national championships that there have been on the women's side, so it's a very impressive record. Unfortunately, this year we couldn't do what we did last year, which was win a national championship. We got knocked out by Santa Clara in the third round of the NCAAs this year, which was really devastating for me. It was my first loss I've had with the Tar Heels.
Is that right, in 2 years?
Yeah, in 2 years it was the first loss.
And to jump back, you were MVP of the tournament last year?
Yeah, I was the offensive MVP of the tournament. So it was a great freshman season, and we had really a great season my sophomore year too. We didn't lose a game all the way up until the NCAAs, which is really impressive. I mean, people look at Carolina and think that, you know, we should win. We're North Carolina, but they don't understand what we have to put in and day out to make us so great. They just think it's something that should be expected. But we know different. We know that we worked hard, and we'll get them next year.
Yeah. Heather, I always felt East Brunswick's got a target on them in basketball, and with Mr. Carney, and certainly with soccer when you were there. And you know, you brought the crowd out there. They came to watch you play soccer and basketball, and they just got up for us. Is that the same situation with North Carolina?
Yeah, it's the same situation. We talk about it all the time. When another team sees that they're going to play UNC at some point in the season, they circle that game on their schedule, and they focus a lot of, you know, their training and their season to face us. And I'm sure that that's what happens at East Brunswick a lot. When that season schedule comes out, people circle East Brunswick and, you know, and focus in on playing them. So you always get the best everybody has to offer. They bring their A game against you every time. So that's what I like about North Carolina. You know, I never get anybody's average game against me. I always get their best. And that's going to make me better.
You never get a day off?
Never get a day off?
Yeah,
no.
They're always after you.
They're always after you.
I know how humble you are, but please help us with the audience, help the audience and me. I know you're up for the Herman Award and the Honda Award. Tell us about those.
Well, they're honors that go to the National Player of the Year at the collegiate level. I'm one of the 3 remaining candidates. With me is a girl named Christine St. Clair, and another girl that I've played with at Penn State, that goes to Penn State, and we're going to be traveling to St. Louis in a couple weeks to see who wins the award. And
oh, great.
I don't know if I'll win it. You know, we'll see. I didn't have the season that I would have loved to have at North Carolina. I still had a strong season, but I hope to do better next year. So a lot of the other girls really deserve the honors, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Well, you're being humble, and I thought I read something in that award that you've got to take your high school athletic director to St. Louis with you. Is that
yeah,
part of it?
We don't pay for the plane fare, but if you want to come,
all right,
you're welcome.
Little reading about women's soccer professionally. Where's that going? Do you have any idea? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know if everybody knows, but Mia Hamm, Julie Foudy, and Joy Fawcett have now retired from the women's national team, and you know it saddens a lot of people. They've been the face of women's soccer for so many years, but I think now that these girls are stepping away from playing the game, they're going to be involved in promoting the game as well, and hopefully they'll be able to reinstitute the women's professional league that we had here called the WSA, and they're working hard on it. They have a commission that is working to bring the league back. We're just looking for some companies to promote the league so we can get it up and going again. And I think it's so important to women's soccer in our country, and to give girls, you know, something to play towards, a career to play towards, and it's really important to, you know, the U.S.'s status in international play too. I think that environments that we had at the WSA helped us and helped develop our players, and that's what made our Olympic team so strong and got us that gold medal. So we hope that the league comes back, and actually it's expected to come back in 2006. So just in time for me graduate from University of North Carolina and play professionally for a while, which has always been my dream.
Good. You know, I love women's soccer, and that's not because I've been following it with my 3 daughters who all play, but I think it's still a finesse game with the women. With the men, it's become, in my opinion, a lot too physical.
Right.
And there's more, sometimes the most skilled team won't win because the other team's a little more physical. So that's why I really enjoy women's soccer. Summer plans in the spring. You as an athlete, just take us through the spring into the summer. What is expected of you and commitments, that type of thing?
Well, actually, this is the first summer that I'm actually going to have some time to myself and you know, figure out what's best for me for training schedules. The last couple of years I've had big tournaments to prepare for. 2 summers ago I was in the under-19 Youth World Cup, and then this past summer I played in the Olympics. So I've had a pretty regimented schedule the last couple of summers, and this summer there's no big tournaments to play in. The U.S. team is going to get together a couple of times, but that's it, just for some training camps. So it's basically up to us to stay fit, to stay ready to play, and to keep our discipline on our own. I think one of the ways I'm going to do that is playing at North Carolina in the spring. It's a great environment. I'm lucky to still be in college because I have a great environment and great players to play with every day.
Okay, now that's spring because it's spring soccer, right? And
yes.
You're allowed, what, 15 practices, 18?
Yeah, as a team you're only allowed a certain number, but through January and February we're going to divide up into smaller groups, which you're allowed to do, and train in our smaller groups of about 4 or 5 people. And that's really helpful to us because it keeps everybody committed, and you know, you never let somebody lag behind in fitness or, you know, in their skill training.
And so in the summer, what are you gonna do to maintain your fitness level and being on top of your game this summer? Where would you go to get to that level?
Well, I think the most important thing for young athletes is to seek out a great environment that you can fit in. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is playing on a team called the New Jersey Wildcats, and what that is a semi-professional team. It's called a W League team that my former club coach Charlie Namo now coaches. Since there's no WSA, these W League teams are the only way that great players can all come together and stay on top of their game in hopes that the WSA will come back. And they're out of New Brunswick, so practices won't be very far away. And they've got some great players on that team. And also another thing that I love to do is play with boys. Like you mentioned Danny Miller earlier, me and Danny try to train together as much as we can. We go run together, we lift.
Okay, let me ask about your running. I mean, I can go out and I'll run 4 or 5 miles, but tell me, yours is intense. Just give me a quick version of what your running workout would be.
Well, like you said, maybe the best thing for me as a soccer player isn't going out and jogging 2 or 3 miles. That's not the best thing for my training. I do different things, more sprint work, more interval training. Sometimes even in the cold weather, people don't think that they can go run, but what I do, because I don't want to go out and run in 20 degrees or in the snow, I go to the gym and I go on the treadmill and I set myself up with a workout. And maybe that would mean, you know, 1 minute really, really hard, and then 15-second jog, and then 1 minute really, really hard again, followed by a jog. So you kind of figure out what your body needs. That's especially what I need as a forward, somebody that does a lot of sprint work during the games. My coaches and you know, exercise people that, you know, take care of my training regimen.
You have a specific workout for Heather O'Reilly. Did your Olympic team or North Carolina give, here's Heather O'Reilly's workout?
Pretty much so,
yeah.
But I think it's more directed towards what position you play on the field. Like I said, the forwards have to work more sprint work, while the midfielders might have to, you know, be able to go 90 minutes throughout the game, continual pace. So their workout might be a little bit different than mine. But that's what my coaches and trainers have told me to do.
Substituting in the high school today was an ex-athletic director at Rutgers, Mr. Heilman. He came in and we were talking about diet, and he tells, there's an end to this story, and he was telling me that the football team at Rutgers has a training room or a diet put up by the coach 3 times a day. You guys put on specific diets by the Olympics and/or North Carolina?
No, I think that it's more up to the individual to judge for yourself what you need to do to stay fit, to stay lean, to stay strong. You know, with girls, it is a concern to make sure that everybody's eating what they should be, eating enough, and it is things that we face every day. But it's definitely up to the individual to be able to understand what they need. I think my diet is pretty much everything, but I limit myself. You know, I don't want to just eat snack food because then I won't be as lean and fit as I would like to be. But you know, if it makes you happy and if it makes you a more confident person to be able to just, you know, eat what you want, we're training enough that it doesn't really matter.
Do you find yourself, not to interrupt you, do you find yourself adjusting your diet and sometimes not reaching for that candy bar or pizza chip? Do you find yourself doing that?
I mean, I'm somebody that loves snack food, but I think that right before I'm about to, you know, grab that bowl of ice cream, I kind of think about, this is my motivation, I think,
okay.
Is Marta from Brazil eating ice cream right now? You know, is this girl from Germany eating ice cream right now? That's my own motivation.
That's good.
And usually I tell myself that they're probably not eating ice cream. I don't even know if they have too much ice cream in Brazil, but
I don't. We'll check that out.
Yeah, but you know, that's my motivation. My competition is these international stars, and I want to be able to compete with them through the years.
That's interesting about that, because coaches, you know, they outwork themselves. They figure they're going to win a game if they put in more hours than the other coach. And that's basically the philosophy you just decided. You're worrying about what the other person's doing. About 3 years ago, Josh Miller, who you joined, having your number 7 retired the other night. Josh had his numbers retired as a football player, and also Dave Wall, who used to coach at the Nets. So we got a football player, we got a basketball player, and now a women's soccer player. But before I ask you how that feels, I want you to react to this. Josh Miller said to me once that every day that he does something to improve or maintain his fitness level and his kicking. He said, Mr. Knopp, there's only 32 people in the world do what I do, which is punt the football. He says, so if I can't get outside and work out, I walk around the house and just drop the ball on my foot for my timing. Do you find, does Heather O'Reilly do something every day to maintain and improve her soccer abilities?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily an everyday thing. For example, these last couple of weeks have been, the first couple of weeks I've had off from soccer in a while, so I thought for me the most healthy thing to do is to step away from the game for at least 2 weeks to stay excited about it, to stay motivated, to always get better. So I've actually had a break these last couple of weeks.
Haven't done any physical activity?
I've gotten out there and ran a couple of times and played basketball with my soccer teammates, like I mentioned before, but we really did step away from the game for a couple of weeks, and we think that's best. But now that the new year is going to start up, I plan on getting out there, you know, almost every day and doing something. It's just what you think that your body needs and what your mind needs. Yeah,
I guess what works for other people. Any special feelings about the other night? You know, your number 7 retired with those 2 guys.
It was great. I'm really happy that they brought me in and retired my number. It's such an honor. And I can't wait to come back into the high school and see that jersey hanging up. It's really going to be a thrill for me.
Well, it's well deserved.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about that thing around your neck. And I know you let me touch it before, but besides me and Mr. Carney, what other famous people have touched that medal, or have you met a result of that medal?
Well, we got this in Athens, so a lot of the other athletes there saw it and touched it, and a lot of the famous athletes, Marion Jones, Andy Roddick, one of my personal favorites, was also in Athens when we had won the game. Michael Phelps actually came to our championship game and watched us win these gold medals and took pictures with us after. So, it was really cool to be in Athens with all those athletes. Let's see, after that, after we won.
Well, I know you came back. I saw you on one of those Today shows, early morning shows.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of shows up in New York City after we won. We were on Letterman, actually, so he's touched the
what
medal.
was your line? Wait, give us your line. You were on Letterman. You were number...
Geez. I was number 10 on the top 10 countdown. I don't even remember what my line said.
Something about hitting him with a ball or something?
Yeah, something busting Dave Letterman.
Oh, you and him first name basis,
yeah,
Dave? Oh,
first name basis, Bill O'Reilly, first name basis with all those guys.
So, any other famous celebrities that...
Well, I was actually on the O'Reilly Factor with Bill O'Reilly, which was really cool because obviously we share the same last name, so they thought that was really cool on their show. So they brought me in, and I was a little intimidated at first because he's not the most warm guy to talk to.
Oh, really?
He's quite intimidating. I think that even adults walk into those shows, shaking in their boots because they're afraid of Bill O'Reilly. But he was really cool with me. I'm really glad I got to meet him. And he didn't talk about anything political. It was just solely soccer chat and then talk about the Olympics. So. Did
he try to say that he's related to you or anything?
Yeah, he did actually. He said, "Do you ever tell people that we're related? Because I do." I said that we might be distant cousins back there in Ireland somewhere.
Oh, good answer. Always with the good answers, Heather. Where do you keep that medal? And maybe, we don't want anyone to go out there and try to steal it.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's rumors from your parents on where you keep it, so.
Yeah, I can tell because now I'll move it. I used to keep it in my sock drawer, and I know that seems so funny to some people, but I don't want to put it in a display case quite yet because, people still like to see it. I still like to show kids sometimes, so I like to have it someplace accessible. And I just had it in my room in a safe place that only I knew about.
Wow.
And maybe one day I hope one day I get to frame it with my jersey that I wore, my number 17 jersey that I wore during the Olympics.
Good. A lot of the kids came up to you, the little ones came up last night trying to touch the medal and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I had to touch it. And that was
you want to touch it?
Oh, that is great stuff. Great stuff. Well, that's what the kids and the teachers were talking about in school. Did you touch the medal? Did you touch the medal? I said, yeah, it was neat. The game itself, I've always asked athletes this, and when I coached, I always felt that once that gold medal game started, did it leave your mind that you were playing in a gold medal game and you were just competing? Does that leave your mind, or is it in the back of your mind, gold medal, gold medal, gold medal?
Well, I think that, naturally it is in the back of your mind, but as a world-class athlete, you have to worry more about the task at hand, which was beating Brazil in that final game. So I think everybody on our team really just focused on the game and what we can do to beat Brazil, and we didn't get rattled when they scored a goal to tie it. We stayed again focused at the task at hand and got it done. And there's plenty of days to think about the gold medal after that game. So you just need to.
Well, when you're in those huddles or right after a score and you guys get together, I always wonder what's being said, like when the pitcher goes out or the manager comes out. What is Mia Hamm saying, and what are you guys saying when you're in those huddles?
Well, I think especially we like to get together after we are scored against, and I'm sure I wasn't on the field when they were scored against in the Brazil game, but I'm sure that they got together and they just said, you know what, guys, we're okay. We're okay. We know that we can hang with these guys. We know that we're better than these guys. So, let's play for each other. Let's play as a team, and let's go get that goal back. So mostly it's just making us feel like we're okay, making us calm down, that the game's not over yet, and making everybody confident again.
And it's all just positive stuff.
Yeah,
positive
just positive.
Stuff, positive. Yeah. And because they don't want to take the confidence away, I guess.
No,
right?
Sometimes goals, can be directed towards one person, but usually it's, there's 11 people on that field, so everybody's at fault. But if one person does have a mistake and the goal results because of it, you never want to get down on that person. person. You keep them positive because they have to stay in for the remainder of the game. You never want them to get down about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Silly question, maybe. She didn't give you a pep talk before that gold medal game, right?
Mia?
Yeah, or the coach. There's no need to have any type of pep talk to get you psyched for that.
Well, the team as a whole, or me individually?
The whole team.
Yeah, I mean, just like any other game, we have, a pre-game chat, and we talk about what we want to do during that game.
Yeah, I meant like a new Rockney type win one for the Gipper and none of that.
Oh, no, but I think that the energy and enthusiasm is all there in that locker room. You felt the tension mounting.
Right. Heather, real quick, not real quick, but standing on the ceremony, was it like a blur to you? Is it getting the gold medals? Is it a blur? Could you take it all in, or was it just happening too fast?
I was working really hard and just absorbing everything I could because I knew that I would want to remember that moment for the rest of my life. But I do remember just special images. I remember being up on the stand, getting the medal around my neck, and seeing all our parents cheering in the stand, doing our victory lap. I remember it all pretty vividly, and I hope I remember it forever.
That was really neat. That victory, you made everybody proud.
Thanks.
How about to our young athletes out there? I mean, they've got to admire you. Give us that message you gave the other night again, please.
Well, last night I think that I wanted to just leave something with the athletes there at East Brunswick, and that was not to be afraid to be different. And it takes a lot to be a high-level athlete, and not all the time is everybody else on the same page as you. I remember in high school a lot of times, I would want to go out and run some extra fitness or do extra shooting, and you feel peer pressure, like, oh no, don't do that, like, come home with us, don't be like a suck up, but it's really important to be your own person and not be afraid to dare to be great. And that's what I said last night. A lot of kids are actually, they have a fear of failing, but they also have this fear of success. They fear that if they work so hard and do good, that people will expect too much for them, that they'll lose friends. But I think most importantly, you just find people that support you and support what you want to do, and that'll make your life a lot easier.
Wow, what great stuff. Well said. Well, I thank you. I thank you on behalf of the East Brunswick faculty, administration, athletic department, and the whole township for being with us today and representing East Brunswick the way we would love everyone and all of our athletes to do. So again, thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
And for Sports Talk, this is Frank Noppenberger saying thank you.